Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I am your host, Ricky Camilleri. Our next guest is a legend. He is an icon, not because he was Johnny Rotten in the Sex Pistols, but because following the dissolution of the Pistols, he formed Public Image Limited. For those that don't know, PIL is one of the most influential bands for indie rock artists, punk artists, post-punk, industrial, and really most good alternative music following 1978, from Sonic Youth to the Chili Peppers to Nine Inch Nails. The new documentary, The Public Image is Rotten, tells the story of the band and its many members, but also the personal story of its founder, John Lydon, and a life lived in the public eye. Let's take a look.
This is PIL!
We were completely thrown in at the deep end right from the start. There's not very much fun being in a band like that. Having to deal with a management was more into the sensationalism aspect of the thing. I wanted immediately to start a new band, and one that would approach it without that media mockery attached. So I used the term Public Image Limited. We started rehearsing and the songs just flowed.
The way that record starts out really changed the landscape.
It was like a diagram of how to write a song.
We were quite a wild band. There was always a huge undercurrent of danger.
You know, when push comes to shove, you shove back. The media wanted to bury me. I had to really fight for my survival.
Metal Box, it changed my life.
It's one of my favorite albums ever made.
When I left, I said to someone, I'm going to leave. I'm going to be leaving.
I'm leaving the band.
The list was damn well endless.
Rise was what kicked everything off again. The success of that song was what, Virgin had wanted all that time, remember, a hit record.
Because up to that point, I hadn't considered that people actually really respected me inside the music world itself.
John gets up and he starts singing. There's a kind of wind that he creates. You just sort of put your sail up and...
Hello! Are we ready, boys? Hello! Hello!
Everybody, please welcome director Tabor Feller and the man himself, John Lydon.
I liked that presentation there. I'm surprised.
Normally you don't like it?
I've had to suffer the entire film. That's all right.
Guys, congratulations on the film. I loved it. I'm a huge PIL fan. It was so great to get to see the entire story told, to hear the stories behind a number of your biggest songs, some songs that I think some people might not know. But at the same time, it was so wonderful to kind of bypass this thing that I think always eclipses the greater achievement of your career, which is PIL, and to just simply talk about that. What was it like to do that when it comes to talking about yourself, John? Because I think so often people want to talk about the other thing and not about this thing that has been a labor of love for decades.
Well, look, it all works out well in the end.
Shakes out.
It's like I've had to learn to have more patience than a hospital, really, because of the negativity I've had to put up with for 40 years. Now, this isn't self-pity from me. This is an actual reality. When you put your head in the chopping block and allow yourself to be judged by others, purely on creativity and original ideas, you will be hated. You will be resented, and they will do the utmost they can to destroy you. This is called institutions. Governments, religions, anything you like. All of the things that stifle creativity are my enemy, and the public image is not.
And I think that one of the things that displays how creative you wanted to be, how outside the box you wanted to be, is a moment where you're talking about bringing in Jaw Wobble for the first time, and then I think bringing in another member after that, and it was, can you not play? You don't really know how to play that well yet? Okay, get in here and start playing. And it was just the idea that if you don't know how to play that well, you're going to break down the
we'll teach you or
mold.
you'll learn with us. That'd be the point. Take the risk. For me, personality and bravado and endeavor are far more important than musical skill, because musical skill is a learned operation. It's a set of rules written by someone else that people all too easily adhere to. There's nothing genius or creative in a trained musician. So every single time I will take the madcap lunatic. Now, it doesn't always work, right? It's a dodgy ride, but, I mean, you've got to be fair. When I joined the Pistols, I mean, they were doing that with me, so I'm only returning the compliment.
It's a dodgy ride when it comes to the professionalism of it all, but it's not a dodgy ride when it comes to the creative output, I think.
Good. I think the most creative you could ever be is to avoid the rule books. Right? And our music, all the way through, it really is street. It really is. That's the heart and soul of it.
Street, did you say?
Street,
Yeah.
I'm working class trash. Hello. Right? Hello, I'm trailer park, me. How you doing? Right? And quite happy about that. I see no harm in that at all. I think I'm fairly intelligent and should have been given a fair crack of the whip when I was young. So I made my own, didn't I? And now I'm whipping the living daylights out of them. There isn't an institution, really, that I haven't pointed an accurate finger at, is there? From royalty to the church. I was 40 years ago, I was on about what the priests were getting up to.
Yeah, right on the first album.
Yeah. This is why I never really made any attempt to sing ever in my entire life until the Sex Pistols seen me in an I Hate Pink Floyd T-shirt. Irony, because I don't hate them. Right? And asked me, would I be the singer? And I said yes, and that was the first second. Because up to then, you see, I went to Catholic school, and the idea of the priests having any kind of close contact was not going to happen. That's a long time ago, and nothing really has been done in how many decades? Until fairly recently now, we're catching on. Well, I say it's not just like Catholic religion, it's the lot of them. Be very careful who you leave your children with. Any adult at all, really, should be treated with suspicion, unless it's me.